Thank you so much, Mike. Actually, when we had phone booths, I would go in and change it to Lois Lane. Thank you all so much for being with us tonight, and it is so great and such a blessing that we can all be here together in person. And I just first of all want to give it up for the amazing volunteers of the Lowell Celebrates Kerouac Festival, because I did that gig for a long time. Please give it up for them. Everything you see happening this weekend, all the energy, the poetry, the music, the magic, the people who make this festival go, make all of that go. And so speaking of which, I'd like to start my reading with some poetry by Jack Kerouac, of course. And this is a book that's been traveling with me, and I think it's going to travel with me all through the festival. It's called Jack Kerouac Book of Sketches. And in 1951, a friend of Jack's was listening to the beautiful way he would describe everything, and he said, well, Jack, you should make sketches, but sketches in words. So I'm going to be, first of all, reading a poem, and I think this is appropriate because, as we know, there are many of those who among us and people near and far who have in fact experienced a great loss in the last year. And I think we should all celebrate the beauty and the majesty of life. And I think a great tribute to them would be to live life wholly and blessedly. And so I'm dedicating this reading to them and everybody who is here with us in spirit. Including my late husband, Lawrence Carradini, who was the past president of Lowell Celebrates Kerouac. So Jack Kerouac, thank you very much. Thank you so, so much. So Jack Kerouac was very beloved of his brother Gerard, who died quite young. And Gerard's spirit, and this is not at all meant to be a sad poem, because Gerard's spirit lived with him in everything that he did and that he wrote. And he wrote a beautiful book, in fact, called Visions of Gerard. It's one of the books he actually wrote about Lowell. So this poem is called The Death of Gerard, but you'll see that it's a celebration of his life and his spirit staying close to Jack rather than being apart from him. Oil cups flaring in the misty night, the sand, the ditch in the street with jagged concretes of old making little dusty ledges for little living strange dusts that are now blowing in the night. The flicker of the flares, the sawhorses, the sand piled. Somewhere on the mysterious horizon of the suburban like scenes in Mexico City or Montreal, and equally strange, equally weird, equally and most haunting, like the little man with a mustache, a straw hat, a salesman saying he is dying, the golden davenport of his house at the top of the street, the wind from the river, cold and inhospitable, dim lights in houses, creak of pines, lost Lowell in a winter night in 1922. And 1922 is the year, of course, that Jack Kerouac was born. And I am not yet born, but the oil cups flare and smoke in the night. Little rocks on the pile have eyes. Everything is alive. The earth breathes and the stars quiver and hugien and drool and recede and dry. Up and spark. No moon. Black. Shuffling figure of a man in a derby hat, hands in pockets going to the lattice house, the Kellystone pine, the great soul of my brother in sadness hums over the sea. Hear the river hushing under a load of ice. Smell the smoke of the dump, the little man in the straw hat is going home. Newspaper under arm, he's left the trolley at Aiken and Lakeview, bought a new Rudy Valentino box of chocolates for his wife tomorrow night. Friday, I am dying, he said to me in eternity, in Montreal, years later. A tribute to his brother Gerard by Jack Kerouac. Thank you so much. So now I'm just going to switch books, and I'd like to share with you some of my poetry. and I want to say that there's so much more also coming up this evening, including some other amazing poets that are going to be reading, and I know that you will really enjoy them. Chat Pirsat is in the house right here. And also my great friend Jim Dunn, and I so look forward to hearing both of them, as well as some more amazing music coming up. So there's lots to stick around for. So this is my most recent poetry book. It's called Night's Island. And for those who are interested, I do have a few copies for sale, and I'd be glad to sign one for you. And so I just want to read a couple of poems from that. This poem, again, is inspired by my late husband, Lawrence Carradini. And a strange thing that happened to us, we went to the Fall River Historical Society for a business trip. Yeah, give it up for Fall River. And Lizzie Borden, who we went to see some of the artifacts associated with her, and it was quite extraordinary. I went there to write a travel feature. When we came home that night, for some strange reason, neither of us could sleep after all that, and we were just sitting in the dark in our living room in our beautiful apartment on Pine Street in Lowell, where our dear landlord was actually the late and great Charlie Nicotopoulos. And anyway, Larry swore that he saw a great light over the mantelpiece, and he was convinced that Lizzie Borden had traveled home with us. Obviously, everything went well because, I lived to write the poem. So this poem is called The Diamond Light. It was all that we saw in the fading sun in Fall River, and all we returned, lying in the gray dark, talking through what was this day, over the mantelpiece with the Waterhouse Mermaid. We had John Waterhouse' beautiful painting of the mermaid. We had this print over the mantelpiece at that time. You knew because breath blushed along your face. You knew because glancing cats tread where you lie. And if she followed us, this her deep haze, you know and take with you, as you took with you into that best and longest night. Thank you so much. So, living in Lowell, as I think probably many people who spend a lot of time in Lowell, I've certainly spent a lot of time walking along the Merrimack River, which is a beautiful, beautiful river that carries so many stories and so many histories with it. So this is one of the many poems that really comes to me from the river, and it's called The River Talking. Fingers touch and form a bridge from surface to sky. A fish rises, a silver island that takes shape and recedes. This and more, whispers. A rabbit persists in the slaty grass. The fingers pull away, the first ones to the floor, the others to the deepening stars. Thank you. I'd like to just quickly mention, if I could, I'm really blessed to say I have another reading coming up, reading from my other book of poetry, Pretty Green Thorns, and my short fiction collection, The Plague Confessor. That's going to be at Lowell Books, which is also here in downtown Lowell, and that's next Thursday, October 14th at 6:30. Would love to see you, and most certainly please support our local businesses, of course, and to have a locally sourced bookstore that supports local authors is really great. So definitely, I would love to see you there. We'll have a reading and book signing, and definitely check them out at lalabooks.com because they have all kinds of great events and all kinds of great books and more. So the last poem I'd like to read, I've been blessed in my time to do a lot of traveling, and I really can think of nothing that is more Kerouac-like in spirit, that if you have the ability to travel, and it can be near or far. In my case, I've had the chance to travel to Egypt, and I've been there 3 times. an amazing country, and the most amazing thing about Egypt, its most amazing treasure, we always think of the pyramids, of course, and the Sphinx, and those are truly majestic, but really the people of Egypt, to me, that are my friends. So I'm sending out this poem to them, and through the magic of social media, inshallah, they'll get to hear it. When I was in Alexandria, I spent a lot of time on the shore of the Mediterranean, and there's a lot of cats. Egypt is truly still ruled by cats, and so for cat lovers, it is the place to go. And there was a cat sitting very proudly on a wall, running along what they call the north coast in Egypt of the Mediterranean. So she was quite self-possessing. So she inspired me to write this poem. It's called The Cosmos of the Cat. Because, of course, anyone who has a cat or knows a cat knows they are the center of the cosmos. So Cosmos of the Cat. She made a perfect world of sleep, an ellipse alongside the golden jewels of Khan el-Halili. In Alexandria, they sat one and one on wicker mesh chairs under the posters of politicians, or my guardian in bronze stripes on the wall overlooking the Mediterranean. They come to me all, but more I come to them. What we do exchange, if not knowing. Thank you so much for listening tonight. Thank you so much to Lowell Celebrates Kerouac for including me, and please do stay tuned for the other fantastic poets that are coming up, and also there'll be more music. And I just also want to give a shout out to our staff here at Warp Weft. Thank you for being so welcoming to us. Please honor them and show your appreciation to them this night. And thank you all so much for supporting, again, a local business that helps us to build our sense of community here in Lowell. Thanks again for listening, and I hope to see you all soon in my travels.
One more time for Meg Smith, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so we do have some more music coming up. That's going to be in just a little bit. We got George